Ep.995 edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, degenerados. Welcome to episode 995 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to FP&A, one of our buddies in the Discord. I am one of your hosts of this year episode. I will be the Kitchener Terror, Jeff Fox, alongside me, Daniel Gumby, Vreeland. We're finishing up our UFC futures. We got the three heaviest weight classes to go. Today, we have middleweights, 185. And then next week, we actually have some MMA events to actually cover, right, Gumby? It's slowly cranking back up the MMA schedule for 2026.
Yeah, and some good ones too. That Octagon card is, at least on the top, pretty damn good. There's a fun little LFA card with the vacant heavyweight title on the line in that one. Fury's got a couple of titles that they're got up for grabs on a card there. So that, yeah, there's tons of good stuff next week. So for those of you sick of our futures episodes, it's coming.
Yes, hopefully you're not sick. I'm hearing from people who are following our leads here on some of our plays. So we better make sure we're making good future bets here. We didn't make very good future bets for middleweight last year, Gumby. I had DDP to be the champ at the end of the year. You had Kai Bahayo. So you're going to get plus 1,000 if I came through, but it did not, because Khamzat finally actually fought and came through and won a title. Yeah, he showed up, stayed in the weight class, showed up, made weight, didn't get COVID or some new pandemic, and he actually fought and won a belt. So
is that the hardest part of handicapping what we're doing today with middleweights is the Khamzat question? Because you're right, he did have a 2025 that like maybe we've been waiting for what, 3 or 4 years now, and so he finally did the thing that everybody believed he would be able to do at some point in time. But like, now's the question, like, is he gonna be able to defend it? And then on top of that too, like the bigger Khamzat Chimaev question, he's already talking about leaving the weight class. He's already talking about fighting at 205. I don't know if that's because Pereira might leave or because he likes the idea of fighting Pereira being a lanky kickboxer or whatnot. But like, regardless of what it's just like, it is, to me, the hardest part about middleweight is just like, what the hell is Khamzat Chimaev at this point?
Yeah, you would think the UFC's decision to strip you of your title if you change weight classes, you think that would dissuade people from moving, but apparently not. It's still like the first
here's a
question when they win.
Will it though? Because big question I think surrounding that is, what happens when you lose? Do you go back to a title fight? Because like we talked about this on our strawweight episode.
Yep,
there's a good chance Weili Zhang just walks back into a title fight at strawweight, probably smashes and goes back to being the champion. It does mean she has one fight as not the champ, which I don't know what that means in her contract, especially with pay-per-view points out the window. But like, she'll have one fight as the challenger and not the champion. But like, if she walks right back into a title fight, is it really going to dissuade somebody like Khamzat Chimaev from going up, possibly losing? Let's just say he loses to Pereira or whoever else they feed him up there. He just comes back down and wrestle fucks the DDP who took over, or I guess whatever one of these guys takes over. Like, I think it worked as a really good deterrent to start, but it depends on how it functions after it fails.
DDP, you don't think the DDP era is over yet?
I do, but that's the first name that came to my mind.
Yep. Just like Felipe Bunez, and I haven't lived it down since. So you got to be careful. Just blurting names out. DDP is a little less embarrassing than that. Let's dive into it. Reminder though, you can get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place, the SGPN app. Download it for free in your app store. Just type in SGPN. All right, we are talking, as we said, we were talking middleweights. We didn't get the Khamzat guess right. He would have been the obvious choice, obviously, if we knew he was going to fight. But there's no guarantees with this guy. Like he was clearly, maybe not clearly, but pretty certain that he was the best middleweight in this weight class when he's healthy and on point. And he was healthy and on point. Let's see if we have any fights that make any sense, at least ranking wise, scheduled already. We got Roman Dolidze, Christian Leroy Duncan. That's at the London event, which is in March. So that is booked. Renier de Ridder versus Kai Bahayo, UFC 326 in Las Vegas in March. So that obviously is a big fight. As is the headliner in Houston, February 21st, Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Is that actually, that may not be the headliner. Well, I guess
yeah, it is the headliner. Fluffy posted about it yesterday or the day before. He did.
So Joshua Van is not getting his hometown fight like he was hoping for then.
I mean, the chance that if they really push for that, you could put him in the main event and then call this a 5-round co-main. Which, I mean, they've done stuff like that before.
Yeah, that's true. Other fun fights. I'm not going to go through every fight because there actually are a few middleweight fights booked. I guess they need headliners for fight night, so they have to book middleweights. I don't see nothing else that is relevant to the weight class. I always like to do ages. Youngest fighter Atiba Gauthier, 23 and 3-0 already. So I gotta like that. By Singer, Surkayev is 24 and he's 2-0 as well. So we got some young guys on the way up. We also have, of course, since it's a heavier weight class, we also have old guys. Not as many old guys as welterweight. We only have one fighter over 40 at middleweight. Can you think of who that is? He's 41.
I feel like
he
it's
Christos.
Oh yeah, Jared Cannonier.
Jared Cannonier does not look 41, but yes,
I should have known that though, because they've talked about his age long, for a while now. So
yeah. All right. You want to tell the people the rules? We're going to lay down the rules.
Sure.
Again?
Let's lay down the rules of our Futures episode. So if this is the first time you're watching one of our Future episodes, first of all, go back and watch all the other ones. They're spectacular.
Shame on you.
But what we're doing here is we are giving some rules to our MMA Futures this year. Instead of just talking our way through it and ambling, we thought it'd be nice to give it some structure. So for this year, we've decided that each host is going to start with $2,000. And we're going to spend half of that on what we call best bets, which is odds less than 1,200, and the other half on long shots, which are odds greater than 1,200. We have to spend money in each of those two categories in every single weight class. So we have to make a bet on a best bet and a long shot, even if we don't like any of the odds. But we got to do that once in every weight class. That way we're keeping things moving along. And to make sure we don't just get as chalky as hell, bets are going to be seen as bonus bets, which means the payout is not including the stake. So we're not just planning to win our stake back. We are planning to maximize the amount of return we can possibly get.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you can't just actually you can't put all your money on Jared Muir's shirt if you want. At plus, I see him at plus 500,000, which is kind of crazy because he is still in the UFC, right? He didn't get cut yet. He hasn't retired, I don't think. So.
Coming off of some pretty bad losses.
I know. I'm not betting it. I'm just saying that's pretty long here. Think is it you?
It's me, right? Because we're on an odd episode. This is number 9. Yep. So let me pull.
You're an odd one, so go ahead.
Best bets graphic here on the bottom. So I looked at these odds long and hard here, and basically what I determined, especially when looking at the best bet section. And by the way, for those of you who haven't been following along, I'm almost out of best bet money here with 3 divisions to go. I'm down to about $170, which isn't great. So I've decided to spend 70 of that here today. And I just can't get around to putting any of it on Kamzat. As much as I do think he's probably the best fighter in the division right now and the hardest out, I think he's his own out. The UFC doesn't seem to love him, right? Because like right out the gate, right? They were all about Kamzat Chimaev, right? He fought twice in 6 days or whatever the hell it was, or 9 days. And everybody was pumped up about him. And then, through all the COVID stuff and the pullouts and all that, it seems like they kind of soured on him because they really did make him fight a bunch of times when it felt like you could have probably just given him a title shot. Then when they gave him one, he cashed it right away. And now, like, how long ago was that he won that? That was a minute ago, right? And
I just had it on my screen. Let me see.
We still haven't seen him again. August.
He fights once a year. He's fought once a year, 2023, 2024, 2025, all once a year. October, August. So what
happens when August rolls around and he's sick? What happens when August rolls around and he misses weight? What happens when August rolls around and it's the White House card and they're looking for a big fight and they put him up against Pereira up at light heavyweight? Like what's stopping him from doing any of those things and just abandoning this title? And as chalky as his number is, I couldn't get around to it. So what I wound up doing is I'm going to take the $70 I got here. I'm going to split it between two guys. I'll start with Fluffy Hernandez. I do think if he beats Sean Strickland, he's the obvious candidate for the next fight. I actually thought he was going to beat DDP back in, what was that, November, and that probably would have cashed him a title fight. Now he's got to fight Strickland. That's also like a great guy to just like, use as a springboard to a title fight. People are kind of hyped on his wrestling already, which I think makes him the most logical. Like, hey, he could beat Khamzat. He subbed Adolfo Vieira. That's something. And his last fight, he just absolutely showed his wrestling was a new level. So I'm going to take, let's start with, what did I say I was going to spend? $70. Let's take 45 of it and go with Fluffy Hernandez. And that I found as good as 550. 550 was the best number I found on Fluffy Hernandez. I'll take $45 on Fluffy Hernandez.
Okay. I got a bit more money left than Gumby. I got about 85 per weight class left. So I'm going to put some of it on Chimaev. I don't see them stripping him, and I think he's going to fight at least once. And there's no one who I see that's definitely could be favored over him. Obviously, Hernandez is an interesting matchup, but still, I would probably pick Chimaev over him, especially the way that Chimaev looked in his title fight. So I will take. Maybe I'll split this money up a little bit too, because like you said, there are a lot of question marks with Chimaev and switching weight classes. Possibly getting stripped of the belt, going in unhealthy and losing, all those type of things. So most of it I'm going to actually put on him, though. I'm going to put, let's say $60 on Chimaev. What's the best you see him at? I see him at very long. I see him at minus 350.
Yeah, I think I saw minus 275 out there.
Okay. All right. Better than 350.
Minus 275 if you want.
I don't, but I'll take it anyhow.
I'm going to take my last, at least the last $25 I've allotted myself for best bet. I'm going to put it on Nassourdine Imavov. He seems like the obvious guy who's going to fight next for the belt. He looked really good in that Israel Adesanya fight. Can he knock out Khamzat? I don't know. I don't really see him getting out from the wrestling of Khamzat, but who knows? He's like such a better striker that like maybe if he lets Khamzat tire a little bit, granted Khamzat did not tire in the DDP fight the way we thought he would, but maybe if he goes back to tiring the way he did in the Kamaru Usman fight, maybe we see him able to get picked apart here. Or, again, Nassourdine Imavov, kind of the logical guy. If he does decide to go up, he would be one of the ones on the line for the vacant belt. So I'll take the last 25 there on Nassourdine Imavov.
Okay. What do you see him at?
I got 275.
All right. I thought I saw him lower, but maybe I didn't. Let me see. I see him at plus 300. I'll give you that.
We'll take that.
You will take that. All right. What did I say? I was going to spend 85. Maybe I'll actually split these up. I will take 15 of it on Fluffy. I agree with Gumby says. He is definitely next in line, you would think, him and Imavov. So, and I'll take the other, $10 on Imavov at plus 300. They're the most, if for some reason Chimaev can't fight, they're the most logical guys to fight for the belt. If he can't fight, one of those two would be the most logical guy to fight him. And they both pose different problems for Chimaev too, which possibly they could beat him. So, I guess that's it for our best bets, right? You're all done for this?
Yeah, that's it. I can, like I said, I couldn't get behind putting money on Khamzat. Otherwise, I agree pretty much with what you did there.
Yep. All right. Before we dive into more, we got more money. Don't worry. We got Kalshi to tell you about. We're just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market. I'm melting down already. A real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. I got a reboot. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets in sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, they have tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment. Hell, they even have weather. Kalshi, you can trade anything. Gumby just has an article up on sportsgamblingpodcast.com with some NFL, I think was the last one I saw. So
yeah, some NFL playoff futures. So make sure you go check those out.
Yep. So they got sports, they got non-sports. You can read Gumby's articles at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And when you do go to Kalshi, new customers can get $20 when they use our promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And of course, we're brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog, they had us covered during the holiday season. They had Underdog Unwrapped. I think that's probably done by the time you hear this, but they always have new promos and stuff on. And another thing, Gumby always has a winning play for you, regardless of the season. And I bet he's got one right now.
Yeah, it's Wednesday here, and we got the Hornets up against the Raptors. Hornets coming off a huge win over the Thunder, and Con Knoopel looked really sensational. I'm not even sure I say that last name right, but I look at the word a lot, but I don't say it. You know those names? Knoopel.
Yep. Yeah, I always thought I could pronounce names until I started doing this show.
Yeah,
I think it's Con. I'm not sure if you said
Silent K, just
now,
Knoopel. Just Knoopel?
Yeah, no, I think it's Koopel, maybe. I hear it all the time, and now I can't remember. But anyway,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, that guy, you know who that guy is, the Duke graduate.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take his higher on the points. Coming off a 26-point performance, looked real good there. And, they're listing him at 19.5, which to me is a projection that I think he's going to blow out of the water. So give me the higher than on Con Knoopel's points.
All right, Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMA SGPN. Yeah, try to avoid watching the Hornets. So,
I did too, but I pulled up that score the other night, and I was like, that is bizarre.
Yeah, they're kind of a decent team this year, just kind of. All right, let's get some more decent bets here, shall we? We usually like to tell you.
Time?
Yeah, long shots. We usually like to tell you the funny long shots. The biggest one was Gerald Mearshart, though, which is kind of surprising because he's actually, we've seen like Chris Weidman is plus 100,000. Like,
wait, Chris Weidman's in there?
Yes.
Is he boxing? He's boxing somebody, right?
Yeah. Did he? I don't know if he got released or if they just let him do other things, but yeah, he's a long shot, but he's still
when he had his retirement fight in MMA, he said in like as specific terms as he possibly could, I'm retiring from the UFC.
Yeah.
He didn't say I'm leaving MMA. He didn't say I'm leaving combat sports. He didn't say I'm putting the gloves down. He just said, and he was supposed to be booked in that GFL. It was him versus Rockhold in GFL. Although I saw now Rockhold is wrestling Colby Covington this weekend in that Real American Freestyle. So Rockhold looks a little busy. Although I can't imagine there's probably not the like layoff after a win or a loss in wrestling like there is, because you can wrestle like 3 times in a night if you want to.
Yeah. So I imagine your kids can, but your kids are young. So these are old guys. So. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, GFL. We were hoping we could at least do one episode on
Did
GFL,
you see they posted again? Did you see the GFL posted again?
No. What did they post?
So they said, I want to say this is back in like late November, early December or something like that. But they posted, we thank you guys for all of the patience that you've had with us. You haven't posted in 9 months. But we thank you for all the patience, and we're cooking up something for the new year. Meanwhile, like literally every single fighter on their roster has like gone on to just like other promotions. Nobody's waiting for that. Holly Holmes boxing and Luke Rockhold's wrestling, and Wanderlei Silva is still like really freaking old.
Yeah. He hasn't gotten any younger since they announced this league. All right. I guess I should actually
you're kicking off the long shots.
Long shots, aka plus 1,200 or more.
I hated this set of long shots, by the way. I saw very little that I liked.
Yep. I see Dreykus. No. Well, I guess I could see him get a title shot, but I'm not.
I can't though, because here's the thing. I thought about that too. I had him underlined on my little spreadsheet here, and let me talk you out of it if I can.
No, I'm not playing it, but go ahead.
They didn't like him. They didn't like him as champ. They kept saying like these are like not great fights. He looks bad even in wins, right? Like they don't want him back up. And then he looked like a fish out of water fighting Kamzat. He's gonna have to win 5 times before they consider him for a title shot again.
Yeah. But I have like $135 per weight class left.
Yeah, you got to get busy, man.
You got to take some here. All right, give me 75 on Bo Nickel.
That's crazy. That's the only guy I have in this weight class as a long shot.
Oh, good.
I penciled myself in for $80 in this weight class for the long shots, and I'm giving it all to Bo Nickel. You go ahead and give the reason, because you're leading this one off, but I'll follow it up.
He has the superpower, wrestling, which is also combat superpower. Maybe better cardio. Like it's hard to say that because
it looked real bad last fight, but
And Kamzat, look, it was like they switched roles their last fights, but overall, you would think he'd have better cardio. Obviously, still growing as a fighter on the feet, but he always has the wrestling that he can fall back on, and the UFC obviously likes him as well. They're kind of taking it slow with him, which is good. They're putting him on pay-per-views often, but they're not giving him.
I mean, they gave him RDR last fight. It was slow to start because it was like,
right,
whoever they found, Cody Brundage, like that kind of
low IQ Cody Brundage.
Low IQ. That was a low IQ Cody Brundage.
Yes.
But now they're amping it up a little bit, and that's why I liked him here too. Is like he's kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, shit or get off the pot, right? Like they think he's a guy now, right? They think he's ready to go and ready to fight the highest guys, and we've seen guys get that like big step up and sort of get like, they call it fraud checking or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But like take that kind of ugly loss, but then spin it right around and like win 3 more or 4 more, and then immediately be right back in that chatter. It's like, to me, if he were to win his next fight against somebody, somebody decent, a Roman Dolidze or somebody in that kin, and then he wound up getting in a short replacement fight or another fight towards the top of the division, in winning that, I could see him fighting for a title in December, November, December. And that's really what we're looking for with these long shots, is kind of sneaking it in under the wire. I don't know how he matches up with Kamzat, but it might not be Kamzat there anymore, as we've, heavily discussed in this episode. And I don't know what you saw for Bo Nickel odds, but I saw 100 to 1.
Nice. I see 80, so it's even.
Yeah, I've seen 100 to 1 out there. So shop around. You can get an extra quarter on what you're doing there. So
I'm actually upping my bet $100 because I still have lots of money.
And you're looking at who else is on the long shot list, and you're like, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Am I? Paulo Costa? No.
He's got to fight too. That's the same thing.
He's backed out. So remember, Paulo Costa just backed out of his fight. So
yeah, the one we were really excited for. Who is he going to fight?
See, I don't even pay attention.
It was like 2.5 days he was going to fight, and I got it sent to me by no less than 10 people who were excited to see him in whatever fight he was supposed to be in. And then I was like, is he going to fight it's Bruno Ferreira?
Yeah.
Which would have been great for Bruno Ferreira, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
I probably would have been higher on his future props if that had come to fruition. Instead, now he's probably going to absolutely murk some newbie.
No, he's fighting Hobocop now. I see.
Oh,
yeah, which is a fun one, right?
That's interesting. Wait, they already fought.
I see it listed though. Let me see here. Oh, maybe that was the last. Yeah, that was the last fight. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He already beat
the last fights here. Yep.
Did he?
Beat him. You're right.
Wait, not just beat him. That was a long time ago.
Now I'm confused. I'm all mixed up now. Okay, we're looking for. Let me find.
He beat Hobocop a really long time ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Bruno Ferreira is fighting Hobocop, the UFC 326. So
wow, they did fight at UFC 283, which was in January of 2023.
Right. All right. We weren't misremembering. Yeah,
we both remembered correctly. We got it.
Yeah, and
Ferreira that's why there's 2 of us. That's why there's 2 of us.
Ferreira knocked him out. So there you go. So maybe Ferreira will knock him out again. It didn't do him much good the last time because he's back fighting him again. But I guess Hobocop's on a resurgence.
He took Ferreira took a weird loss in there somewhere too. I can't remember who it was, but it's like it was like a Roman Kopylov loss or something like that.
Jared Cannonier, so not that horrible. Wait a minute, no, I'm looking at the wrong person. I don't have Ferreira's. Never mind. Jared
Cannonier beat Hobocop.
Yeah, Hobocop is on a good run. I'm not taking either of these guys. So Ferreira Hobocop doesn't have a future other than being a fun guy, but Ferreira may have a future because he's a scary dude on the come up. Are you taking anyone else for?
No, that's it. That's it for me. I'm just Bo Nickel and get me out of here.
Yeah, Kyle kind of has been exposed, quote unquote. People like to say exposed, but some weaknesses have been shown there. I don't know if he's going to get to it. You can see Adesanya getting a title fight, but the fact that he doesn't even have another fight.
He doesn't look like he
currently
wants it either.
Yeah.
I heard an interview with him too, because I circled him being like, "Ooh, if they need a name," but he seems like he's not interested in title fights anymore. He seems like he's just out there. I heard him in an interview saying he's still in it to be a martial artist.
Okay, yeah. If he had a fight booked and more motivation, then possibly that could be a play. So I guess I'm not Mensur Abdul Malik maybe in the future, but I guess I'm not
He's a buy stock guy.
Yeah, anything right this moment. Yeah, but we'll tell you about our future futures in a sec. After I tell you about Novig, we're brought to you by Novig. It's NOVIG. Novig is America's #1 sports production market. Novig getting the best prices because they have reduced juice. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And Rhythm, that's RITHMM. Rhythm has crushed NFL this season, especially in props. Been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball is up and running, and with 300 plus schools, Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night. Pairs nicely with our network's daily college experience shows with Mac, Colby, and Noah. Every game, you're prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house, a model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports, Rhythm makes it a little easier for you to get an elite prediction, and you can focus on other aspects of life, like anything else matters. Gumby, give us an elite play.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Raptors over the aforementioned Hornets. I know the Hornets are coming off that big win, but I think it's just going to sway the line way too far. As Jeff pointed out earlier, they're not actually all that good. Give me the Raptors, laying the points.
And when you use promo code SGPN25, when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month, download Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25. And the Raptors may actually be good. Shockingly.
I don't know. Maybe
good.
They got to use more Grady Dick.
Yeah, they're not using much Dick this year.
No.
It's true. He's definitely less Dick than before. All right. Book the weight class, Gumby. If you're in charge, perfect.
It's pretty much already booked at the top, though. I mean, apart from the title fight, right? And really, if you just put a Mobov in that title fight with Kamzat, it's kind of booked, right? Like we got RDR and Kaibo Hayo. You already got the Fluffy Hernandez Sean Strickland fight. I mean, I think you're just looking for something fun for Israel Adesanya right now, which is like what? Like rematch with Robert Whitaker, who's also kind of on his way out. Although Whitaker is talking about fighting 205, which I think is crazy because I saw a picture of him standing next to Jimmy Crute and Jonathan McAuliffe recently, and he is the smallest of those three, and Jonathan McAuliffe is a welterweight. So maybe I wouldn't rush him up to light heavyweight. But I think the beauty of this weight class is it's kind of already taken care of it for us, which is part of why especially with Kamzat not being booked, it's just like harder for me to like him there.
Yeah. So you would take Chimaev versus Imavov, assuming would you pick Chimaev to win that just off the top of your head?
Probably. I think it would come down to a value question though, because when we do our picks during the week, it's usually if you had $100 and you had to lay it on one of these two's money line and you have no option, who would it be? If you can get me Kamzat in the 2s or 3s, maybe mid 3s. But like once you start getting 3-1, 4-1 return on Imavov, I'm at least starting to think about it. You know what I mean? If it stays lower, it'll be a no question. It definitely comes out. But the more it creeps up, the more it makes me like, look, is there value on the Imavov side?
Yeah. And then obviously not best case scenario because it never happens. But assuming Chimaev wins and fights again this year, or even if Imavov wins,
I think it's fluffy. It's fluffy.
Assuming he wins the next fight, it would be, which we expect him to do, it would be fluffy.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Cool. How about future features? Maybe like 2027s. Is there any young fighter or an up and comer that you're super excited about?
Yeah, Mansour Abdul-Malik, we talked about, and Bruno Fajeda, we talked about. It's really those guys are super interesting in this division, especially as Fajeda starts to lean on his grappling a little more. Mm-hmm. He's always had a nuke of a right hand. And so now to add in, he's using a lot more of that judo base he's got, and he seems pretty dangerous there. So, like, I'd keep an eye on him. Mansour Abdul-Malik seems like, for me, it's mostly just figuring out the mental side of things and not getting too cute with what he's doing. But once he sort of nails that in, I think he's going to be real dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, some super young guys on the way up. Gautier, Sasurkav, even Olasechuk is a young guy who's one.
Cesare, right?
Yeah, Cesare. Yeah. So lots of younger guys on the way. The Punisher, Torres Finney. He's 1-0 in the UFC too. So bit of a future. I guess we've already had a turnover in the division because we do have a new champ, and we
have a lot of fresh names at the top. Yeah.
Yep. But the thing is, there's a lot of fresh names at the top, so I don't see any of these young guys being able to sneak in, at least not in 2026. So yeah, too many other fighters to get out of the way. before these young guys. But that's good. We don't want to rush people anyway. Russian fighters never seems to work out too well. So anything else you want to say about middleweight? It's usually we crap on it, but it's actually not that bad of a division anymore. The joke is to make fun of middleweight main events in the Apex, but we actually have some good fighters on the way up here.
And we only have 2 Apex fights in the first quarter of the year. So
yeah, another good thing. Yeah, maybe Paramount saying no more Apex. Look at Octagon. Look at those spectacles that Octagon or Ryzen or KSW or those promotions do, and then you see a Apex card and you're like, what is this? So hopefully we can always hope. All right, we're set for middleweights. You are set for middleweights. If you take our advice, we are in the Discord. You can chat with us in there, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. You can also hit us up in the comment section, of course, on YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast, Twitter, SGPN MMA, at Gumby Vreeland, at Jeff Fox Writer, Instagram. I have a Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has another podcast called Top Turtle. He's got a couple LFA fighters on it this week, I hear.
Yeah, Josiah Harrell, who's going to be in the co-main event of that first LFA card, and Isaiah Gomez, who is fighting at heavyweight against Braden Peterson on that card.
So check out Top Turtle wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can find our work at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get your merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get your bonus content. I believe it's Gumby's turn to bid you adieu.
All right, I'm Dana Gumby Vreeland. He's the last style bender, Jeff Fox, and we will see you next time.